Hey girl, hey, it's IFBB Wellness Pro Emily Smith
and NPC Wellness competitor Elisabeth Sundin. Welcome back to the
Wellness Girlie Gang podcast. All right, everyone, we are back, and this time we have a guest, Kass Gillis. She is an Olympian wellness pro who has been competing a lot recently. Welcome, Kass. Tell us about you and your journey so far.
Thank you for having me. So, my journey, you want from the very beginning, or are we talking
Oh, yeah,
like?
let's rewind. Let's go back to the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, so, um, I guess like if we're talking about athletics and stuff like that, I played softball and soccer up until about grade 8, and then I kind of drifted away from that and got into, the wrong crowd, the party scene. Then fast forward into my 20s, I got pregnant with my son, and that's kind of what made me turn everything around. I was like, okay, I need to get my shit together. So I started working out. My son was about 6 months old, and I started to grow muscle very quickly. So I started thinking about competing. I did my first show. He was about 1, I believe. So it's kind of been his way of life. Like it's just so normal to him, if that makes sense, because he's just like grown up with it. And now he's getting to that age where he's like more interested in like bodybuilders. And we just moved, and there's 2 like young girls that live next door, like they're twins. And he's like, I'll be right back. I gotta go inside and work out. And he comes inside and does like 20 push-ups and then goes back outside. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's cute.
Oh, that's adorable. Already trying to impress the ladies.
Yeah.
And how old did you say he was? 8?
He's 8, yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So bodybuilding became your lifestyle with your son, and then what was your first competition?
My first competition was in 2018. It was the Popeyes Fall Classic, and I competed in figure. So I actually turned pro 2 shows after that in figure, and that was right before the pandemic happened, in March. And then I believe I made my pro debut in May or June. In wellness, I switched. I didn't compete as a pro in figure. And my first competition, I came 9th, and then we made some adjustments, came back, and I ended up winning Chicago Pro and securing my first Olympia qualification.
Wow. Wow. So from your first show to the Olympia qualification, how many years was that? Math is hard for me.
3 years.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really cool. We actually all started in figure and then switched over to wellness. So what made you switch from figure to wellness?
Wellness has always been a favorite of mine. They used to have it in the Elite Federation, but they didn't have it in the IFBB. So the Wellness Girls are actually kind of what inspired me to want to grow muscle. Like I used to follow Vivi Winkler and stuff like that, and just seeing the intensity and the way she trained to look the way she did, it kind of like clicked, and I was like, I want legs like that. So I always wanted to compete in that category, but we didn't have it. And then when it came, my old coach approached me and was like, hey, have you ever thought about transitioning to wellness? And I was like, oh my gosh, do you think I can do it? And there was a lot of like people that were saying like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in figure, like you're not meant for wellness and stuff like that. But you listen to your heart, and it's worked so far. So
yeah, and now you're Olympian, and I mean, seriously, like one of the most gorgeous wellness Olympians, I would say. I mean, your physique is just something that all of us want to obtain. How do you do that? Being a mom, being a coach, being a business owner yourself, how do you like maintain all of that?
it can get messy, I won't lie, and I do have hard days. Social media obviously just paints a picture of like the good parts and stuff like that, but the support of my husband and family is a huge, huge help for me. But other than that, like every day looks a little bit different. I have some of the same routine and stuff, but when you own business, it's kind of like nothing is, set in stone or the way it's supposed to go. There's always like hiccups along the road and
Yeah, just kind of like adapt and
Mhm.
roll with the punches. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, we're all married, and the support system of our husbands, especially through our preps, have been, I mean, the biggest thing for us to just kind of help, at least for Elisabeth and I would say for us, and I'm sure for you, is just really just having that person that understands us and understands that we have these goals. We have these really big goals that we want, and it takes a lot from us mentally, physically, emotionally. Tell us about your support system. Who are those people?
So I have my husband, obviously, and his aunt helps out a lot when I've been traveling lately. She'll come spend the night and stuff like that. And then I have my parents, so his grandparents, they also will watch him if I'm traveling. That's like the closest circle that I have to help.
Nice.
Love that.
Yeah, so your daily routine, do you want to go through your daily routine of when you are in prep and when you're in your off or growth season? Like, are you a morning person? Do you wake up at 5 a.m. to do your cardio, or are you more of a night owl?
I am more of a morning person. I find that's when my mind is the most clear and I have the most energy. I usually wake up around like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Um, I find that like I wake up early and earlier the closer I get to a competition. Just the anxiety kind of builds up and the hunger and all that fun stuff. But I usually get up early and I try to get up so I have some like alone time to, work on some things that need to be worked on. But lately my son's been waking up early too, so it's kind of defeating that purpose. But yeah, generally I wake up, I do computer stuff, social media, and then when my son wakes up, I'll make his breakfast for him, get his lunch ready, packed, drop him off at school. Um, I don't normally do my cardio first thing when I wake up. Usually do it later on around like 10 or 11. Um, this prep I've been focusing more on my step count as opposed to like
Mm.
in the past I have coaches that are like 30 minutes of cardio or this many calories and stuff, but I've been taking into account my steps a lot more. And that's been like a huge change for me because I never really paid attention to that. Um,
Yeah, because when you're working from home, right, and you have to help your son with things, but then you're going back to your computer, like you're doing a lot of steps that you don't really
mhm.
think about that you're doing.
Yeah, and then if you're not, at least you know that you need to kind of move around some more to keep
Exactly.
things going. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I haven't moved in a few hours, these check-ins are taking too long or something, and then, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta get going on that walking pad. Do you have a walking pad? Do you go outside? Like, how do you like to do your cardio?
I do have a walking pad. I prefer to do outdoor cardio, like go for hikes and stuff like that. Obviously, if there's a period of time where I need to lose fat quickly, then I'll do stair mill, like 30 minutes, get your heart rate going good. But
Mhm.
I've learned my body enough to kind of get it to where it's supposed to be through just like incorporating more fun things that are good for my mental health, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that would be like the
So
hiking for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
mhm, as for your fasted cardio, if you do fasted cardio, this is such a common question: Stairmaster, treadmill, or elliptical, especially as a wellness competitor.
You mean like what is my favorite or what is the most effective?
How
Let's do
about
both.
both?
Yeah.
So I definitely think the
That's
stair
okay.
mill is the most effective by far.
Mhm.
Um, I prefer treadmill, honestly, because it's nice. Incline treadmill is easy. And then I've never really done cardio on elliptical. I know some people like the elliptical, it's like good for your joints and stuff, but I've just never really been a fan of it.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
I like the ellipticals, but the first time I went on it, I was like, my arms and legs are going like opposite ways, and like I don't think they're supposed to go this way. It always felt so awkward to me.
Yeah, they are kind of weird.
I always liked the bike. Like the bike would be nice for me because I my quads would just be so taxed from all the leg days.
Mhm.
So I really liked a just a bike. That would be
Just
nice.
to get them moving and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah, go really, really like fast, but like light resistance, so it wouldn't be like too taxing to
Mhm.
the legs. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
So how do you navigate the mental pressure associated with constantly focusing on your physique, especially as an Olympian, and maintaining a healthy body image, in the competition realm and just day to day? How do you do it?
I don't.
I
Straight
appreciate you
up.
being
Even at
honest.
this level, like people seem to think that, things get easy or something, but it is so hard. Like I'm struggling right now in my off season, just like seeing yourself, fluctuating and getting used to looking shredded. I haven't even made like a post in like a week or so, It's like you get in your head, you look at the photos and you're like, ah, and then you know what I mean? You always flip flop though. It's like you're never lean enough. And then you look at the photos in prep and it's like, so it's always a
Mm-hmm.
mind game. I think I've gotten better at kind of managing it a bit more than when I was an amateur, but it's a hardcore sport and there is definitely a lot of like mental struggles that come with it.
Mhm. I mean, it's comforting to hear that as an amateur, you have the same struggles even at your level. And this sport is not easy. It is not easy being a bodybuilder, especially when you are very, very successful in this cast. So we all look up to you and you have
Thank
accomplished
you.
what so many of us want to accomplish one day. I mean, it's only what, like 5% or less that actually do achieve it. So it's comforting to hear that you feel the same we do. But I mean, you look good, girl, whether you're in prep or off season, you
Thank
look
you.
amazing. Yeah.
Look.
So what feedback do the judges give you after you step on stage?
It's been a little bit different, obviously, through the years and transitioning. So it used to be my upper body needed to come down, like that was constantly my
Mhm.
feedback. It's always you need to be softer or leaner. You know what I mean? You're always trying to chase that
Balance.
perfect balance.
Mm-hmm.
My upper body has finally come down. They're happy with it. Now I think it's mostly Tyler now. He says that the cuts in my legs are too deep. So my coach's strategy is to like really make sure I can fill out to the max,
Yeah.
which means like
Mm,
being very consistent, especially in those final weeks with like meals, so we can increase the clean food and just have like a really nice full look. So yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I want to go into that because that's such a hard thing getting full, right? Being full, but then you have to be lean. Like you have to be conditioned enough, but you have to be full. So, if you can you share what are those strategies that you and your coach are doing to get to that fullness that you need on stage?
Just monitoring steps, making sure you're not doing too many steps before show day. That's a huge thing for me because I used to drop weight when I traveled and just start getting flat. So
Hmm.
counting my steps on like the days when I'm at home and then comparing them to when I'm traveling, it lets me like adjust them the final days into the show as well. So that's made a huge difference. Um, but just like monitoring daily on peak week, I think is important.
Hmm.
Some coaches, will just do like weekly check-ins. Some like to do daily. I find that daily on peak week is like super important.
What about show day? Like, are you eating a lot more carbs that day? Are you filling up on peak week, or is it just kind of a balance of, like you said, like everyday look?
So if I'm gonna be increasing food, it would be like 1 to 2 days out now. I find that's better for my waistline. And then this year I've been having a little bit of sugar as a pump up. I used to never do that. So I find that I get like a really good pump when I do that, and that's helped a bit. But definitely don't try to fill up on show day because that fills up your gut and you don't want to have a big waistline on stage. So I think that's also helped me refine my physique.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think that was something for me was like I was so lean. At one point, Cass and I had the same coach. So like at one point I was very lean and I was too lean for my regional show. Even though I won the overall, they were like, you need to get a little bit fuller, but stay like that conditioned for nationals. And I did feel like my stomach was always so tiny, always so tiny. Like it's even in the off season, I keep it pretty relatively tight. But
Mm.
I felt like on show
Lucky.
day, like, I don't want to eat this much because I know my stomach is gonna like
So what was your strategy going from one show to another if you were shredded, trying to get full? For cardio, for like increasing food, what was it for you?
I can't I'm like, gosh, I gotta look
I
back.
know.
It's like it was a year ago. We did cut back on cardio, yeah, because I didn't need a ton of cardio. I was already very lean. I didn't need a ton of cardio. And then, yeah, just monitoring the food, making sure the food sat well with my digestion, and that I was staying tight. I still don't think we achieved like the full yet tight look. I thought we looked good, but I think that I can still achieve that more fuller look, especially in my glutes. Hopefully next year. We'll see.
It's funny, I almost feel like when your body gets to that point, you almost need like a cheat meal, like a day or two out to just like, really fill out and then like kind of slowly ease back. But it's like when you're just like eating like the clean food, you're eating like so much of it and it's just like burning through you and stuff. So I kind of think that,
Yeah.
I think I did that at the, no, it was a day before, but yeah, I definitely think that's a strategy too.
Yeah, I did that with my one client, Caitlin, who she was a fit model going to bikini, and we were trying to perfect that full look of the glutes in bikini. And I was giving her clean food, like literally just going through her. I mean, so quickly. So we did give her a burger and fry refeed meal, and that really did help a bit. And I actually did not have a refeed meal anywhere close to peak week. I think it was maybe like halfway through prep or something. So that was one thing that we didn't test were the free meals for me specifically.
I feel like some coaches get a bit like freaked out by doing the cheat meal, but that's why practice peaks can also be good because you can see what agrees with your stomach and what doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see an issue with like doing a cheat meal as long as you don't have like stomach issues.
Yeah, I agree. And even honestly, after that first show day, eating my free meal afterwards, which was Italian food because I love Italian food, that my looked so much better the next day. It was like, oh, you just eat more food. What's your favorite type of free meal or cheat meal especially for like peak week and show days?
I think like post show, I always like to have a burger, like a really good burger. I also love sushi though, but I don't really have that post show. That's kind of more of like a clean cheat meal for me. Yeah.
What about off season? Like, do you go off the sushi burger menu? Do you indulge a little
I
bit?
kind of stick to like the same things that I like, but yeah, I do indulge my off season. Yeah.
So I want to get into body composition because I gain a lot of weight post show, and Emily stays nice and lean and tight. And as you know, every body is different. So for you, when you were first competing, were you more of an easy? I know you mentioned that you gained muscle really quickly, which I'm very jealous of, and clearly it's helped you in your bodybuilding career. But for your body composition, are you an easy gainer, or do you think that you naturally are leaner even in your off season?
I think I am naturally leaner, and I probably would stay fairly lean if I didn't, have treats here and there. But yeah, I've always kind of had the athletic body type that gets lean pretty quickly and puts on muscle pretty quickly. And I think that's for a lot of pros, they have that type of genetics because you need to have like a certain genetic as well. Like, I'm not saying that other people can't make it to the top, but you look at all of the Mr. and Mrs. Olympias, they have to have like insane genetics.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the Olympians stay relatively lean year round. Is that something that you try to maintain as well?
Not super lean. I mean, I kind of, some people say you should be all in. Some people believe in balance. I think for me as a mom, balance is super important.
Yeah.
These like few months I get to have a break and not worry about going out to dinners with my family and birthdays and stuff like that. It gets the fire going again for when you have to get back into prep.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. Okay, so I want to get into when a show doesn't end, the result is not the way that you wanted it to, meaning you didn't get first. How do you handle that emotionally? And obviously, you have a very huge social media presence. So, how do you maintain trying to look happy with how you did, but also I'm sure you're disappointed because you want to win. So, how do you handle that emotional disappointment and persevering through it?
I think, I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit disappointed if I don't place it out the way I want, but at the end of the day, it's a judged sport. It's not like soccer or anything like that where there's clear cut results. So I go in with the mindset I'm there to win, but I'm not attached to the outcome, if that makes sense, because as long as you're doing everything you can to bring the best package, then it's a waste of energy to get upset. You know what I mean? Different judges have different opinions. Like you'll beat some girls at one show and then the next show you won't. So it is frustrating, but I think, yeah, I think I handle it pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I know we kind of talked before we started recording about going through life and things, the passing of someone you love or a furry animal like that. Like, yeah, like we're human, or we're allowed to have emotions. And especially like for you, right? You're more in the public eye, you know,
Mhm.
you're very well known. I mean, I would say you're like a celebrity, right? So yes, you're a celebrity. So, like, how do you handle all of that? How do you handle the mental side of it? Are you vulnerable with your clients, with your people? Like, how do you kind of address all that?
That's something I'm trying to work on because I feel like I'm not vulnerable enough on social media because you get so scared of that one person out of like the thousand positive comments saying
Mhm.
something that makes you feel like crap. Like
Yeah.
I need to grow some thicker skin and it's hard, you know, as the numbers grow, there's more negativity and stuff like that. So I kind of try to just use social media as like a business tool and I'm not like watching every single person's story and getting too caught up in it. But it's hard. I wish we were back in the day when there was no social media. Like, but now it's kind of
No.
like a way of life.
Yeah. And as pros and Olympians, you do have to have a social media presence. I mean, to get sponsors, especially. Talk about that. Your sponsorships, do you have like certain requirements for posting?
Yeah, so most of my sponsorships require like 4 to 6 posts a month. They'll support me. Um, I guess so. I got my first sponsor when I turned pro in figure, and then the pandemic happened. So, you know, a lot of people were making cuts to their athletes. And then after that, I signed with Dragon Pharma for a little bit. They were a great company to work with too. So, yeah, it's definitely necessary to have a social media and put yourself out there in this sport. I guess it depends on like your reasons for competing. Like if you want to make money from it, then it's important. But if you're just doing it solely for yourself and you don't care about that aspect, then I don't really think you need to worry about it.
Hmm. Yeah. So for you personally, obviously you're a coach. And so how, if you had a client that came to you and they were going through a like a challenging time in their life, how would you address that? Like, what would you say to them?
I guess it's kind of like circumstantial and like the type of person that the client is. I mean, we all have struggles and we all go through hard times, and that's kind of what make us stronger in the end. It goes hand in hand with bodybuilding. It carries over to everything in your life when you can overcome things and, you know.
Yeah, the resilience
Yeah.
of every things happen in life, and just being able to move on and persevere and go through it. Like that's really what I think bodybuilding has taught me, how to be hungry. Like what is being hungry? What is
Mhm.
sacrifice? What is, saying no? What is setting a boundary? There are a lot of things that bodybuilding has taught me that like really have helped me mentally, physically, as a human. I really think that being able to persevere and be resilient through any hard time, any time in life, really is what is going to get you further in life as well.
I would definitely encourage people to force yourself to be active because I know when you're feeling down or something happens, it's so easy to fall into that hole. But
Yeah.
sometimes I forget why I started and how much it actually helps when you just, go outside for a walk or go to the gym, whatever it is that you can motivate yourself to do because it will help so much. The hardest part is like getting yourself there. I'm struggling with that lately is like I get anxiety about like going to the gym and then as soon as I get into the gym and you start moving, then it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, I have all these things that I have to do. I get anxiety about doing all the things
Mhm.
until I do them. And then I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
we're good
Ex-
now.
Yeah.
I just needed to do. But it's hard, like sometimes it's hard, especially when you're struggling mentally, that just to do the thing.
Mhm.
And that is an accomplishment in itself, is just to be like, okay, I went to the gym. Like, okay, I ate all my meals today, or I ate my first meal, or ate a meal before going to the gym, because some people just don't do that.
What are some
I think it's
hacks that you use to get yourself going? Do you have anything to kind of routine or like what are some tips for you?
Elizabeth, I want you to answer this because I feel like you're one of those go getters.
I mean, watching people like Kass, like the Olympians, what I read often is it's not motivation, it's discipline because you can be motivated to go to the gym, but when you are, I mean, Kass and Emily, when you're 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, the last thing you want to do is go to the gym and crush glutes. Like you have zero energy.
Mhm.
So, we talked about this on a previous podcast of thinking the girl who I am going to stand on next to on stage, she's probably at the gym right now crushing it. So what's my excuse? Like, why am I not going? But some days it's the last thing I want to do. And I don't want to go to the gym and do glutes, which I'm drenched in sweat after that session. So
Mhm.
for me, what my discipline helps me to just check that box and like having that self satisfaction that I've checked my daily box for the day. And then you get to do it all over again the next time you wake up. But that is one question I wanted to ask you, Kass, is when you are having those really tough days, how do you get through it? Because, yeah, I mean, when you are 2 months out, 5 weeks out, how do you push yourself?
It's definitely hard. Lately I've been finding that stretching and rolling kind of preps me to get to the gym. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, like, but that's just really
Discipline.
been helping. Just like, yeah. Just
Do you do that when you get to the gym, or do that like at home before you go?
I've been doing it at home so that it helps me get myself out the door.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. For me, it's kind of like what Elizabeth said. Like, there's some girl out there that is doing more than me, working harder
Mhm.
than me, eating all her meals, like posing more than me. I think that there's someone that's a little bit better than me, and I'm like, I gotta beat that person. And it's a made up person, right? It's not like I'm like,
Yeah.
there's some girl out there on Instagram, and yeah, like sunlight really helps. Sunlight, like going outside. If I do need a second, I'll just kind of stick my head outside. When I let my dogs out in the morning, just kind of sit out and get some sunlight. My dogs need to lose some weight. I do really want to get them for walks again. I've just been so lazy because we have a fenced in backyard. And ever since I lived with my husband, was it 4 years ago, 5 years ago? We've just been letting the dogs out back and not walk. I mean, we walk them when it's nice out and when
Mhm.
it's around. Um, but yeah, I need to get the dogs out more. And I think that's really going to help me personally if I take the dogs out for a walk. I love my dogs. They give me energy. One thing I do in the morning actually is cuddle them because it helps me calm down because I have anxiety like first thing in the morning and when I go to bed because I'm always thinking about things. Like I'm always thinking about what did I forget to do?
Yeah.
What do I need to do as a business owner and a coach? So cuddling my dogs first thing in the morning and before I go to bed just kind of helps me get some love and affection and be like, okay, it's all right. Like,
Hmm.
so those are some things I do. I always have my water first thing in the morning too. That's like a non-negotiable. I'll always drink a glass of water first thing. I used to do that even in high school, because I was always just like that water girl. I love water. I did not like soda, bubbles. I just did not like. So every morning I would run downstairs, chug a bottle of water, and then that actually just helped me go to the bathroom too. So it kind of keeps me regulated.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, those are kind of things that I like to do. But I'll say I am struggling and that I'm not perfect with doing that stuff. Like there are things I want to do, I've tried to do, but sometimes I just wake up and I scroll and I tell myself, Emily, stop scrolling.
It's hard and you get caught up in it very easily.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, I should
Mhm.
be doing these things that other people are doing and posting, but I'm not because I'm wasting all this time scrolling.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask Cass about her training schedule.
Yeah.
So is your training different now than when you first started? Because since you are an Olympian, are you just maintaining what you are doing in the gym right now, or was it more intense in the beginning of your wellness career and now you're just maintaining, meaning less weight on the glute thrust, for example? What is it like?
I've been thinking about this recently, and I do feel like
Ooh.
I felt like I was training more intense in the beginning, but at the same time, I didn't have that mind to muscle connection that I do now. So it was kind of just like throwing weight around and feeling exhausted, but like not getting the results you want. So now it's more like I have the size and everything. I still need to grow my glutes, but just paying attention to like tempo and everything's activating and you're just getting body work and stretching and all of that is super important. It's not just like the training, it's everything. So I think that has definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get body work
Mm-hmm.
once a month or is it more often than that? Really?
Honestly, yeah, probably once a month right now. I do need to be better with it, but I've just been really good about rolling myself out now, which I never used to do. So I think that's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in prep, it was just kind of like, all right, I have this amount of time, to work out. So I just got into it. I just got into the workout, did it, went home, ate my food. And luckily, I was working with a massage therapist and PT during that time. So I could get those monthly massages. But I just did not have time to roll out and do all that. And now I'm kind of back to square one where I need to foam roll again and I need to warm up properly and all of that. So I'm limiting my injuries because I'm 36. Cass, how old are you? Do you mind sharing?
I just turned 30 in
30.
November. Yeah.
Congratulations. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
She's into the 30s. So like when we get older, right? And if depending on how long you want to do this sport for, we have to train a little bit smarter versus harder to be able to do this longer.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember I would just throw weight on and go first set as hard as I could. And now it's like you start to feel it. So let's, stretch and start taking care of ourselves because,
Because it
yeah,
hurts.
That old.
Just
yeah.
growing
I
glutes all
know.
the time. What's your training split like? Because I bet back in the figure days it was mostly upper body and I mean balanced pretty much. But now, what's your
Mhm.
training split like?
Now it's basically just going back and forth between like glutes and hams, quads and glutes.
Hmm.
Um, I'll take 2 days off sometimes if I had like a really hard training day. And I also have one upper body day weekly. So I'll do very light shoulders and some back, but that's
Hmm.
about it. So there's only so much you can really do and your wellness and you can't train upper body, but I definitely want to try things like Pilates and someone recommended swimming to me. People
Oh,
have like different opinions
Mm.
on that. I think it would make a huge difference in a physique, but other people were like, that's going to make your waist thicker. It'll be interesting to kind of see how it does affect me, but
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know about swimming.
I, yeah, I feel like swimmers have the V taper, like
Yeah.
very broad
Yeah, I
shoulders
feel like
and
Yeah.
getting
very
back
tiny
would be
waist.
helpful. Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you do almost do like every other day training,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
then if you needed extra rest. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been doing less is more. I mean, obviously I'm nursing a knee injury.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, usually I'll do like 2 lower body days and an upper body day every now and then if I need it. Which I feel like more shoulders, and then I'm like, I don't know if I need more shoulders or not. It kind of goes that body dysmorphia thing, right? When you're just looking
Yeah.
at yourself and trying to compare yourself to others. And I mean, yeah, the wellness girls do have some shoulders.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
cute how we all three started in figure. And I'm sure, I don't know about you ladies, but I miss training back. I don't train back, or just like you, Cass, I only do shoulders 1 day a week, very light, because we spent so many years building our upper body and our lower, and now we're just focusing on the lower. So it's
Mhm.
cute how we all started.
Yeah, I like that. I do miss upper body though.
I know, I do miss my back
I
days.
know, I
I
know.
feel like Wonder Woman, like super strong. Plus, it looks good.
Right.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, so Cass, can you I of course we could talk about all the glitz and glamour, but I do want to get into how do you like can you think of one significant setback that you've had in your bodybuilding career and how did you handle it?
Like physically, or what do you have in mind? Anything?
I'd say physically, or even just getting judges' feedback when you thought that you were bringing like ginormous glutes and ginormous hamstrings, and then
Mhm.
your feedback is you need to build more glutes. I mean, I'm sure that hurts your feelings a little bit, you know? So how do you handle that kind of constructive criticism?
I think now with the judges' feedback, I've gotten to a point where it kind of almost like, just rolls off my shoulder or back, whatever the saying is,
That's
because every
Yeah,
judge
yeah.
has a different opinion, right? And you have to take it with a grain of salt too, because sometimes they can't even really put it into words,
yeah.
if that makes sense. Like they're seeing you on stage, but they can't translate to what they actually want. Like saying that like
Yeah.
you need bigger legs could mean that you need to be fuller, and there's like lots of tricks to make your physique appear a different way. I respect the judge's feedback and I will take it into consideration in my training and everything like that, but I just don't over obsess about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then
No, that's good.
for like setbacks physically, I have been really lucky, knock on wood, to not be injured. But I've had like a hernia repair surgery and I've had a few breast
Mm,
augmentations, and that sucks mentally when you can't get to the gym because that's like my outlet for stuff. So that's a struggle, but it also makes you so much more grateful when you are ready to get back in the gym to give it your best, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have had our boobs done. Woohoo!
I know.
Yay.
I've had mine 3 times now. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you told me about the last one.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, mine's the other way. I'm like, they're going out. Push the
Right? We always want the opposite of what
I
we
know,
want.
right? We always want what we don't have. I remember when I was competing last year and I was with some other girlies on the team and they just had bigger boobs than me and I was like, that actually looks good. And then I look at my frame, I'm like, no, that wouldn't look good on me.
But I do want to preface that you do not need a breast augmentation to get on stage. And there's
Mhm.
so many ways that you can stuff your suit. We could talk about that on another podcast. But like there's ways you can stuff your suit to give the illusion that you have you're well endowed up there. I do also want to get into are you okay with me asking about your husband? Is he into bodybuilding? Is
Yeah,
he in this
so
world too?
my husband actually was a big motivation for me to start training because he was almost 300 pounds, like he was obese most of his life. And then when I got pregnant and we started making all of those life changes is when he got into the gym. I didn't get into the gym until after I had my son, but seeing him lose almost 100 pounds, he's like about 200 pounds, is very motivating. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this story. I love the fact, Cass, that you didn't start your journey until after having your son, because it just goes to show, just because you're starting a family does not mean you need to put yourself in the back seat. Like, you still need to prioritize your health and your goals. I mean, yes, you're an amazing mother, but you're more than just a mother. You're more than just a wife. So it's motivating to hear, just because you have a family and a child doesn't mean that you don't have time to go to the gym or meal prep or do all the things that you need to do to be successful. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. The other cool thing about bodybuilding is you can be any age and do your first competition. They have so many options now for, and even with the fit model category, it's just opening up more and more opportunity for everyone to kind of give it a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Fit Model because, I mean, yeah, there's so many women that just want to stay a little bit smaller, and not have like as much muscle, and as they age too, just a little bit more maintainable for them. So I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, too.
What advice would you give aspiring wellness competitors in general, but since we're the Wellness Girlie Gang, wellness competitors specifically, if they want to pursue their own journey?
Just know that you do have to train hard to put on size. I know we're talking before about like how we train differently when we first started and stuff like that, but yeah, it's hard. You have to train legs like 3 to 4 times a week. Also, there's no Olympians that are natural, really. So, like, it depends on what your goals are. If you're doing it just as a goal, then that's amazing. I think anyone can really give it a try if they want something to commit to.
Awesome.
Oh, I guess then do your research to find a good coach. Like, having a good coach is definitely important, not just for how they're going to make you look, but mentally as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We talked about that a little bit in our last podcast of researching your coach, like making sure that, and it's okay to change coaches too, because maybe the coach's situation changes. You know, maybe you're just leveling up in your career or something. Maybe you just need a little bit more care and support and attention. It really depends. There's so many coaches out there, and it also could be a personality thing. It literally could just be a personality thing that you guys just don't mesh, or you do mesh, and you're like, dang, we click. I can talk to this person. Because the biggest thing is being able to talk to them and being honest with them. Because if you're not honest with your coach, you know, then we all know, then the results of their
Yeah.
coaching is not going to be custom to you. It's just going to be what they think is going
Yeah,
on.
honesty is very important because there's not really a point in having a coach if you're not gonna have that honesty.
Mm-hmm. Was there a time where you weren't honest with your coach? Obviously, like we newbie gains, you know, all those the things way back when.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone here and there will like tell a little fib, but like then eventually, like you'll tell them like it's not like you're keeping secrets and stuff like that. But
Yeah, you feel like, oh, okay, you know, I did this, but they're not going to yell at me. Hopefully, they don't yell at me.
yeah.
And it all works out in the end, right?
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, Cass. So when you are training at your gym, your local gym, do people come up and bug you during your workout? Like, hey, I know you're an Olympian. Do they get all up in your face, or do
Like,
they
get a
let
photo with
you be in the
me.
zone?
No, not at all. I mean, there's been people here and there that'll ask for a photo, and I'm more than happy to talk to anyone, but I feel like I'm not approachable. I kind of feel like I have some RBF sometimes, but I promise I'm a really nice person.
Girl,
But
I'm the same. I'm
You
really
are.
the same at the gym. I'm just so focused.
I
I'm not trying to
don't,
smile through my sets. Like,
yeah, I don't come to the gym to talk to people. I come there to like get it done like efficiently. And
yeah.
my husband is, I don't want to say he's the opposite, but he likes to go and talk to people and stuff. So when I'm training with him, people will come over to him and sometimes like start talking. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yep, that is literally the same. Brad is just like chatty Cathy. I can hear him across the entire gym. I'm like, babe, I text him like, you're talking too loud. Everyone can hear you talking.
Do you guys think you're opposites in like other ways as well?
He's a power lifter. I'm a bodybuilder. Elizabeth's husband is strongman and she's bodybuilder. So he works on the farm. He works in real estate. He's definitely more of the math science guy. So he really does help me with some of the scientific stuff that I need to know, as a coach. But he's just very affectionate and caring, like towards anyone and everyone, especially animals. That was something where we definitely relate on that. So yeah, but he's very personable. He's someone that you would talk to and he would say hi to. Even some of my clients, like we went to RBA Fit Day, which was a big expo type of thing that had a little posing seminar. And Brad was there just walking around, holding the bag for me, walking around with all the girls. So he's
really cute.
Yeah, he's a mama's boy.
That's awesome. And we're lucky to have such supportive husbands too, because I feel like it's very rare in this industry. Like there can be a lot of jealousy and stuff. So
yeah, like, oh, who's dating who's with who. I'm like, yo, I have a husband. He is hot. He is younger than me. He takes care of me, and he is all mine. And sometimes we practice, and I'm like, did some girl talk to you? He goes, ew, no, that girl's gross.
love it. Trained well.
Trained. Yeah.
Yeah. It helps to have a supportive spouse, and it brings your stress level down too. Like in years past, when actually in figure shows, just talking to girls backstage, some of them shared with me in confidence that their spouse was not supportive of what they were doing, but they were still doing it. So, but I'm sure that added stress to their prep.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that all three of us have supportive spouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And supportive, like, families and circles. Did you ever have any pushback, like, in your like with your family or in maybe some of your jobs, like you always having your food or always having your water or always, you know?
In the beginning, some of them were kind of like thought it was a little weird that I would bring like meal prep to family dinners. Then they kind of got used to it. My dad wasn't like a huge fan of me competing at first, just because it's putting yourself out there in a bikini for people to pick your body apart and the mental aspect of that. So I think that was kind of his worry. But as he's seen how much it's like changed me, not just physically, but mentally, and helped me grow and I made it a career, he's been very supportive. So
That's awesome.
It's so good to hear.
Yeah,
I love that.
I find my mom has tried literally every diet in the book, and so she's very supportive of this. And
it's like,
yeah, she's gone through her own weight loss journeys too. So very supportive. But on the flip side, my husband, they're, more old school, and we had family dinners a lot, and I would have to bring my food, and sometimes there would be little comments, but I think they've gotten used to it, and especially just seeing my results and seeing my progress and that I got my pro card, and like it was all for something, because I was on family vacations, also with my meal prep, and yeah, like saying no when the families prepared a meal was kind of hard because when that was their love, right? That's your love. That's what we're trying to give you.
yeah,
And so, like almost rejection to them, even though I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to reject you. I'm like, I just have to eat this food, like for my goal. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. But over time they've gotten used to it, and now I can enjoy a little bit more, and we were at Cracker Barrel for a family brunch, and my father-in-law was like, just order whatever, just order something really unhealthy.
Oh, that's
Here I
sweet.
am still being like, okay, can I have egg whites instead of eggs so I can have my bacon? Can I have fruit instead of whatever?
Yeah, it's always in the back of your head, calculating the calories and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Kass, can you give us details on your upcoming show or upcoming season and what we get to look forward to soon? To see you on stage, possibly?
So I'm still undecided if I'm gonna do a warm-up show or not. I do like to do a warm-up show just because it gets like the dust off, if that makes sense. Like the nerves, you're
Yeah.
already like fresh on stage. So if I did one, it would be the Women's Pro Show in Arizona, the Wings of Strength one. I think it's a few weeks before the
Oh, yeah.
Olympia. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good show.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, what about suit colors? What are your favorite
Oh.
suit color, like your favorite looks and suit colors that you've had so far? Can we expect a new suit color for this warm-up show or the Olympia?
I love, I think it was the electric blue suit I wore at the Arnold's. I just really love the blue that showed under the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, and then I like the green, like kind of like a Kelly green color as well is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like that one.
But I don't know, I always feel like I want to have a new suit or a new color. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I
Do
don't know.
you use the same suit company every time?
Blue.
Yeah, I'm with Angel Competition Bikini, so they've made all of my suits this year and they're amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the blue. That's so pretty. Even with the
Yeah,
Arnold
it looks
background, like
gorgeous.
it matched perfectly. Do you ever think about that, the backgrounds in your suit?
For sure. I usually will bring like at least two different colors to switch if needed because you don't want to blend in with the background or have it
Mhm.
clash.
Yeah. How did they like the pink suit on you, by the way? And that
They
Vancouver?
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
What do you think of for amateurs or even I guess pros using a different suit color for prejudging versus finals? Is that pretty
I've heard
have you ever done
I've
that?
heard different opinions on this. I've heard people say as an amateur that you want the judges to remember you. So like if you switch your suit, they
Mhm.
might overlook you and think you're a different person. But at the pro level, I think sometimes it can be a good thing. I actually moved up in placement partially because of my suit color switch. And I came in like a tiny bit tighter, but I think it was at Legions. I wore red in prejudging and then I switched to green. And the judge was like,
Mm.
great choice on making the suit switch that actually helped move you up as well. So it's like,
mm.
Wow, that's good to
Yeah, I
know.
see the red. It was a little deep and with the tan, and then the
yeah.
green just kind of popped a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting. Yeah, red just seems like a very popular color. But to me, I think pink looks really good on blondes, I think, but red looks really good on brunettes more. I guess they
Mhm.
have more contrast or
I
something.
used to like love wearing red, but now I don't know. I don't love it so
You're
much
over it.
anymore. I think it like a really, really bright, like cherry red is nice
Yeah,
because it pops, but when it doesn't have that pop, I'm not a big fan.
yeah. You gotta have that pop, girl. Gotta
Yeah.
have that pop.
No.
Gotta. It's just that extra thing, right? To just what you said that it gave you that little higher placing. It's just that little extra thing. What are
Mhm.
those other little extra things that you do specifically? Is it like a posing tweak? Is it like a look? Is it a facial expression? What are you doing to just level up to get that? What does it take to get to that first place look?
I think everything makes a difference. Definitely, like, I feel like my posing has improved. And I think that comes with practicing my facial expressions and not just like, I'm doing my quarter turns and stuff like that, but like your facial expressions should be part of your routine. The hair flip is part of your routine. And then just doing it more and more, you get more confident with it. What else? Making sure your tan is on point. I usually have to do like a base layer on my own because I'm so pale.
Girl. Welcome to the
you
gang.
know, yeah, yeah. And then glaze is also important because you don't want too much or too little. A lot of girls are dehydrated, so sometimes they'll apply it early on and then the girls don't notice that their skin's absorbed it. So I would always check like right
Mm.
before you're lining up to make sure that your oil is good to go.
Hmm. Yep.
That's a
Yeah.
really good point.
Yeah, I remember at one of my shows that I think it was Universe, they had us glaze a little too soon before we went on, and I soaked it up, so I had to get reglazed like right before we went on again. So,
Mhm.
yep. Yeah, definitely check the glaze. I know some girls, especially some of the European girls that I competed against, they did not want their shoulders and their back glazed. What do you have your whole body glazed? Are there any parts that you avoid?
I avoid my back. Sometimes I'll get like a tiny bit on my shoulders, a tiny bit on my chest, and then like stomach and legs, like a little bit more.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just because it makes your hair all greasy and oily. It's
Yeah.
covered by your hair anyways. They're not judging your back. So yeah, I've seen some girls that end up with like very stringy, oily hair, and it's just like not a good look.
Mm-mm.
So
I think most of your looks, I'm trying to go through, most of your looks are curled hair. Have you ever done a straight hair look or is it mostly curled?
I think I've done straight at my first pro show and then once at a Texas show. I'm always like tempted to do it again, but I just feel like more ready when your hair's curled. Like you feel more put
Mm-hmm.
together, I
More
guess.
girly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if we're talking about that like first place win, I think curled hair just is it's more put together. It's more
Mm-hmm.
structured. It's more like you took your time to do
Yeah.
this. And I do think with blondes, especially the curl just helps, especially with like the different colors that we may have. The curl actually makes that look better. Whereas the
Mm-hmm.
straight, it just makes us one dimensioned and not very
Yeah,
going on.
for sure.
Whereas I think like a girl with maybe jet black hair, it's jet black. I mean, what else is there going to be about it? Maybe she can just do straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. So right before your heel hits the stage, what are you thinking about when
I
you're
love this question.
backstage? Yeah, like as soon as you are right before they say your name, what are you thinking about?
My routine and just like the little things that you miss a lot of the time when you're posing, like twist this way, you know what I mean? All of the little details. I'm just like going over it in my head.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
stand up straight.
yeah,
Sit down. I love that one.
Butt up,
Yeah,
right?
make sure
Your
your
butt out.
shoulders are
Yeah.
level, not one's like, down. Yeah. Smile, smile, smile.
I know.
Yeah.
It is funny when you see a girl get on stage and they forget to smile. And so you keep saying to yourself, like, smile, smile, but the girl cannot hear you. So that you do have to remind yourself to
Mhm.
smile.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, Cass, let's plug yourself. So where can people find you? Tell people your social media and then anything about like your coaching or anything else you kind of want to share.
My social media is Kass G Fit on Instagram. And then I also own a jean line and I have a bunch of new colors and styles coming out. That is kg-jeans.com. And then I have a code for Angel Competition bikinis, Dark Sport, and Mutant. And Dark Sport is Kass G Fit, and the other ones are all Cass.
Love, love. We love those discount codes and I say this to my girls, we're helping you guys save some money too from the brands that like we love. Like we're not going to promote products that we don't use or love
Hmm.
ourselves. I got to try those jeans, Cass.
Yes, girl. I'm
They're
sending
good.
some.
Yes. You have shorts too?
I do, yeah.
She
Ooh, okay.
does.
I need to get some shorts for sure. It's that time of year, man. I just love jean shorts. They're the vibe,
Right.
especially with our quads.
Mhm.
Yes.
I know, girl. Cass gets it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Cass, for your time. And we are excited to follow your journey and see you on the Olympia stage.
Thank you.
All the love and support always from the Wellness Girlie Gang. Until next time. Bye.
Thank you so much.
All right.